You can hear a lot more about One Plan as we move forward, but we're going to give you a nice overview of what's in place and what's to come. But first of all, what is the opportunity that you all have, that we all have, with the exchange market and what's happening in that space? This is a study by Aon, and it clearly shows that a lot of employers are looking to make different decisions about how they offer benefits. 77% today offering a group benefit program, 31% in 2015. Almost 3/4 of those that are going to be offering something new and different are looking at exchanges as the answer to offer those benefits. This is a great and exciting new market for our partners. If you think back to 15 years ago in traditional benefit plans with copays as a solution to start to move consumers towards some more responsibility, and if you believe in what is today the new normal, consumer-directed plans being the preferred option by employers and one of the few solutions proven to reduce cost for employers and employees, and that accountability that the account provides, you have to believe in defined contribution, where the account is used as the primary benefit and that employees then take and buy both insurance products and pay for their out-of-pockets using pre-tax vehicles. Okay? Very great feedback so far from what we've heard in our partners who have launched these programs. Employers and employees are very excited. Employers getting control of expenses, employees getting to choose what their one plan is going to be. They're very individualized solutions. How does it work? First of all, the employee gets the contribution amount. This is the new benefit. Instead of selecting between two health plans, they're getting a contribution amount. That contribution amount starts the process and they begin to budget and plan. You can see why the planning capabilities of OneView are so important here. Then they shop for benefits on an exchange. We'll talk about that more in a second. They finish the process and finalize their elections and set their plan in motion. And then we all know the world of accounts, and this is where some of the Evolution1 technology just becomes so important. Okay? So with that, Nitra, show us how this works.
Absolutely. So one of the primary goals when designing this budgeting and plan selection enrollment process for One Plan was to create an experience that was going to be very easy for consumers to understand and navigate. So as we walk through this demonstration, you'll see how these different design elements have been implemented in support of this goal. From the layout of the pages to the amount of white space that you see, to the placement of the navigation buttons, even the transition between pages. These are all details that we've paid very close attention to and tested out in order to ensure we were creating the best consumer experience possible. So we're going to start off in the first stage of a three-staged process, which is the About Me section. It's all about verifying information about themselves. This data could come in through consumer data exchange, through employer file imports, or for a self-registering consumer, they may be keying this in for the first time. So they'll transition between their pages, they'll verify some contact information. At this point, they're going to be asked to provide information about the dependents that they actually want to have covered by the insurance plan that they're going to be selecting. I'm going to go ahead and add a dependent here because I want to draw your attention to, oh, I backed up. Let me get started here again. I want to draw your attention to the spending account that you see over here on the right as soon as we get back to where I left off here. And that spending account is really where the consumer is able to track and see how much money they are getting from their employer to help them pay for insurance. And this amount is going to change dynamically for them throughout the process as we learn more about them. So here you can see the consumer actually qualified for a different tier of coverage from their employer. And as we learn throughout the process, you'll see even their own contribution amount changing once we know how much they're going to be paying for premiums. At this point in time in the process, we're actually ready to tee the consumer up to begin shopping for insurance. But before we go into that stage of the process, we want to take a step back and talk about the different benefit models that are out there in the market. Because depending on the benefit model that's implemented here, you're going to see different products within the exchange, and you're also going to see slightly different consumer experience as they continue through this process. So Jeff, do you want to touch on those benefit models?
Yeah, thanks, Nitra. So as employers face the pay-or-play quandary in 2014, whether they drop benefits and pay a penalty or whether they continue to offer a group benefit plan, defined contribution allows some in-between options some solutions that aren't quite so draconian as continuing to offer very expensive coverage or dropping out of the benefits game altogether. So two primary vehicles, one is under a group plan model and one is under an individual plan model. In that group setting, we can provide both single and multi-carrier group defined contribution solutions, as well as employee, active employee, and retiree solutions in the individual market. We're working with 4 different exchange partners, and they can be a marketplace or they can be a solution provider depending on your typical environment and whether you want to be that market or not. But one technology provides this wide array of solutions, including situations where you have mixed models between single or individual and group.
All right, so we're going to pick back up in the shopping experience. So typically consumers are going to go through a process where they're going to have collect some information about how they use healthcare and what's most important to them in an insurance plan. So do they go to the doctor a lot? Do they have a lot of prescriptions to fill? Information that will help the shopping platform deliver back the selection of insurance plans that are going to best meet this consumer's needs. They can then go through and do some filtering. They may compare across plans, really identifying the plan that they feel is going to be the best fit for themselves. And once they identify this plan, they can add it to the shopping cart. They can go through, select dental, vision, accident, whatever products are stocked on those shelves. And when they're done, we're ready to really tee them up for the third and final stage of this process. And it's through our health insurance exchange integration services that this whole process is completely seamless for the consumer, because we're passing information back and forth with the shopping platform. And we know the insurance products that the consumer selected. We know the premiums they're going to be paying. So this information is presented to the consumer. We're going to use this to present them with some recommendations. So how much are they paying in premiums? How far will those employer dollars go? How much of their own dollars may they have to contribute to cover the remaining amount? You'll see on the election page here how we're taking that information and actually preloading the election form with that amount. So the employer dollars will first be allocated to the premium account, and if there are dollars left over, they could go into a flex account, or if they qualified, into a health savings account. And then the employee dollars are loaded into the pre-tax dollar column. Consumers can always go in and make changes, add more money in here if they want to elect in another plan. And again, you'll see the spending account change to reflect the new information. At this point, the consumer really is just finalizing the process. They're selecting their preferred payment method. They're also signing off on the rules of the plan that the plans that they've enrolled in. So I've taken us through, if you think back to the circle that Jeff talked about, steps 1 through 4. We've gotten our dollar amount, we've done some planning, we did some shopping, and now we've finalized our accounts. So now it's time to really transition into the 5th and final step, which is ongoing account management. And these are things that we do all day, every day within the Lighthouse One platform. We use our card, we check our balances, we pull things up on our mobile app. So at this point, I'm going to hand things back over to you, Jeff, to kind of wrap things up with one plan.
Thanks, Mitra. So we've talked about this consumer experience. We've talked about the insurance exchange integration points. One thing we haven't talked about is, unlike any other organization in the space, we've built out a defined contribution account, and that capability allows for some very flexible contribution schemas within your employer customer. It creates a lot of opportunity and flexibility for brokers to consult those employers on how best to fund these particular benefits. One thing I wanted to say, when we combine one plan together with one view, you create something very special here, right? So with one plan, we got the budgeting and planning component. We showed you that. With the ongoing capabilities of our account solutions, by being in their wallet with the debit card, by being on their smartphone with the mobile app, and by being a big part of their life with the portals, we create this incredible amount of stickiness. And by bringing one view and this planning capability into next year's benefit cycle, we can make for a very smart and very consultative process right down to the individual consumer level. Very excited about that. Why do you care? Because it creates a lot of loyalty and a lot of stickiness. These are hard things to take away from an employee once they're in motion, okay? So why get fired up about all this, right? Here we are coming where 2014 is a scant 13, 14 months away. Time is very short. Consumers are going to make some big changes in 2014. We believe in 2015 that we're going to be very into defined contribution in the small employer space. And by 2016, this market actually looks bigger than FSAs. So connect with your partner account executive. and get started. Thank you.